letting everybody go. Bye. And it's as I say it like that, it sounds crass and kind of cocky. Because again, it's my fault that I have to do this because I didn't hold them to a higher standard before. And now they have that behavior set in. And changing that behavior is just going to take too much time. Welcome to DFW Grit. I'm Dr. James Taylor, and I'm your host, and this is more than just a podcast. We dive into the stories of the movers, the shakers, the small business owners, the entrepreneurs, right here in the DFW Metroplex. This is your home for authentic, real stories that prove what happens when you don't back down. Let's get to work. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of DFW Grit. As always, I'm your host, Dr. Taylor. Today, I think we're going to get into it a little bit. To whom much is given, much is required. This is I'm piggybacking off my wife. Tamika did, I don't know if it was a podcast episode or just if she hopped on for a live. So a little bit of background. Tamika's a witch. She'll tell you that. My kids know it. My wife's a witch. And I'm cool with it. It's awesome. Very spiritual. Has, very, the universe is plotting in our favor kind of person, which is a wonderful outlook to have. And I have the same outlook. I would say I've always had that same outlook. But in the past, I wouldn't have said it in that way. I wouldn't have called my wife a witch. I wouldn't have, hell, I don't know if I would have even dated somebody who categorize themselves as such. Now, she hasn't always done that. She's kind of grown into herself, and ipso facto, so have I. So I've always believed that there's, I was raised Catholic, believed in a higher power. Heck, I tell my patients even it doesn't matter who designed this body, God, Jesus, Buddha, Allah, nature, universe, whatever, whoever designed this thing, designed it to heal and thrive. And that's in every sense of the word, whether it's like the physical body or even the plans that are laid out before us. Because I certainly believe that there are plans laid out before us. And they're just some guardrails put up to ideally keep us in check. But anyway, I digress. She did this podcast about the year of the horse, the fire horse. This is the year of change. Last year, 2025, sucked balls. I mean, that's not what it was called. It did, but that's not what it was called. It was the year of the snake. It was about shedding, right? And shoot, I'll tell you what, I'm feeling it. So, I mean, a little crude. Speaking of evolution, one of my first episodes was something to the effect of "I'm dumber than the moon," and that episode was about change and realization also, but it was based off of a meme that I saw. Which again, if you've been following along, I get a lot of my inspiration from memes. But the meme was something to the effect of, if a man, I'm gonna butcher it. Women are celestial bodies, if you will. It seems like that women are more apt to believe in astrology and the stars and all that kind of stuff, and men kind of poo-poo it, if you will. But if every time there was a full moon, blood shot out of a man's penis, he would probably be more apt to put a little bit of faith in the effect the stars have on us. That was the gist of the meme. And it was even more crude than that. But I digress again. So if you ask for more, you better be prepared to do some expanding. You're the fire horse, right? So, honest question. Have you asked for more? Have you? Have you really asked for it? Have you asked for it from the cockles of your chest, from your solar plexus? More money, more influence, more growth, more peace? I'm sure we've all asked for more peace at one time or another. But after asking, have you thought to yourself what it would require from you? Because we all ask to receive. What are we willing to give? That's where this episode is going. So if you're asking for more business, that means more problems. More money, more problems. If you're asking for more leadership, it means more decisions. Talk about, people suffer from decision fatigue. You want more, if you want more of this leadership stuff, you want more followers, you're going to have to make more decisions. If you want more influence, it's going to mean more scrutiny. If you want more peace, you're going to need more discipline. And if you want more intimacy, you're going to need more vulnerability. These things go hand in hand. And this list could go on and on. Elevation isn't a reward that comes without requirements. So today isn't about wanting these things. It's about participating in the blessings you're asking for. So I've got 3 principles for you today, and then some action to take here at the end. Reminder, all of these solo episodes, they come with a field manual now. Go to the website, www.dfwgrit.com, download the field manual, and you can take the stuff I'm saying, and it'll guide you through a way to actually make it more personable, more actionable for you. So 3 principles. Why wanting isn't enough, what participation looks like, and 3 ways to increase your capacity for work. So let's get into it. Number 1 here. Desire without participation is fantasy. I mean, that's simply what it comes down to. If you ask for something above your current station, understand more will be required. Fact, period. End of sentence, full stop. Now, if you want more time, you're going to get more stress. If you want more discipline, you're probably going to get a little bit more stress. You need some more problem-solving skills. You need more restraint. You need the ability to say no to more things. Because again, you have these desires. You want this elevated standard, this elevated station. You're going to have to get rid of some stuff. And some of that stuff, shoot, a good portion of that stuff is getting rid of your stuff. And that's the part that's really hard. It's speaking from experience, it's really easy to cut people out. It's really easy to make staffing changes or procedural changes. But you got to look at the person who's making the changes. Wanting it badly enough is not the qualifier. Just wanting it is not the qualifier. Capacity and bandwidth all comes down to time management. Ah, shit, that sucks. It does. It really does. But that's what it's going to take. Wanting it badly enough is not the qualifier. Capacity is. Bandwidth is. Time management is. Number 2, if you can't support it, you'll lose it. Period. This goes right off of what we were talking about. Now, you can lose it in that it was taken from you, or you can choose to lose it. Okay. This is where your edge comes in, right? Money without discipline disappears. Relationships without effort collapses. Opportunity without structure burns out. Influence without maturity self-destructs. I am living a perfect example of this right now. I am in it. I am in the thick of it. Another little backstory, if you followed along, back in July, I fired my office manager of 7 years. She lied. We don't do that, period. You're out. Bye. She goes, I was with you for 7 years. You were, and you fucked up. That's verbatim how that conversation went. So what happened? One of the girls that works for me, she was elevated to the position of ops manager. And then I let the culture slide. Because again, even though the old office manager, even though she ran a tight ship, she made sure most of the stuff got done. I say most because there's a whole litany of stuff that came out after, but she ran a tight ship. And then when she wasn't there anymore, she was able to do it without my supervision. So then what happened? Subordinate, if you will, was promoted to a position of responsibility. And she held it really well for a couple of months. But then we started hiring new people to come in, and I messed up. I put too much faith in somebody who, I don't want to say she didn't earn it, but it was, because it makes it sound bad. She was wonderful. She absolutely was. But she wasn't ready for that kind of responsibility yet. And when I put my faith in her as far as helping with hiring decisions, I ended up hiring people that she liked, as opposed to people that I thought could do the job. And In so doing, the standards of what I consider a completed task started to diminish. Not because I lost the standards, but because I did not enforce the standards. And then it got to the point right now, I'm doing a factory reset on this office in that I am hiring whole new staff. Everybody's gone. And that is absolutely terrifying. But it was only terrifying for like 3 hours. Because what this allows me now is the opportunity to bring in a whole new staff and set the standard anew. These people don't know anything different. This is a fantastic opportunity. It's going to be kind of bumpy for a little bit as we figure each other out and learn the roles and everything like that. But this place is going to be so much tighter than it's ever been before because of this opportunity that I'm taking, right? I'm letting everybody go. Bye. And it's, as I say it like that, it sounds crass and kind of cocky because, again, it's my fault that I have to do this because I didn't hold them to a higher standard before. And now they have that behavior set in. And changing that behavior is just going to take too much time. Losing something you weren't ready to hold doesn't mean you weren't worthy. It means you weren't expanded. I'm forcing expansion on myself. And that's important. There's no shame in that. Because it's going to be a new standard. It's going to be something fresh. It's going to be a factory reset. Number 3, participation is daily, not emotional. Participation is not inspiration. It's not big declarations. It's not vision boards. These are all great things. These are all necessities, in my opinion. These are all requirements. But they don't do the thing, right? They give you the motivation. They give you the impetus. They give you the drive, but they don't do the thing. Preparation is showing up when you're tired. Right now, I'm doing this on a Sunday. Preparation is following through when no one sees. No one's seeing this. I mean, the kids are out there watching TV, but they just think daddy's screwing around on the computer right now. Solving the next problem instead of complaining, doing the boring work. You know it's going to be boring, but also it's going to be equally boring and exciting at the same time. Training in the whole new staff. Okay, we're going to go back to this is how you fill this sheet out. This is how you color code this appointment. This is how you do this task. This is how you do this SOP. But man, it's going to be a little bit of drudgery, but it's going to be so good knowing that they are starting fresh. There are no bad behaviors in there. So here's the thing. To whom much is given, much is required. Period. Full stop. But there's a parenthetical. And most of what's required is invisible. It just is. It's the stuff nobody sees. It's the stuff you have to do. So we've got a little mirror moment here. I want you to turn it inward. Biggest requirement right now for me, myself, is following through on my word to myself. And one of the easiest ways for me to follow through is literally to give no other options, man. Burn the boats. That's what the staff turnover is. This was decided by me. Okay, I've hired people and brought them on, and they didn't quite stack up. And I've hired other people, and they came on, and they didn't quite stack up. They didn't have what it took, but they didn't have what it took in part because I didn't have as much oversight. Didn't want to micromanage. Okay, well, if we start fresh and you don't know what to do, now I have to micromanage. I have to make sure XYZ is done right. And that requires more time, more energy, and more effort from me if this thing's going to work. But here's the thing. It's going to work. Because I burned the boats. I got no other option. Now, the blessing I'm asking for requires a version of me that follows through. Again, using the staff example, I didn't follow through on setting the standards. I left it up to the people that were already here. The people that weren't already meeting the standards. So there's no way that they could have trained them up to a point that I wanted them to if the person that was training them wasn't at that point either. So here we are. All right, cool. Factory reset. You want stronger relationships? You got to participate emotionally. You want bigger business? You got to participate structurally. You want better health? You got to participate physically. And you want more respect? You got to participate consistently. So here's 3 capacity builders, all right? Things that help keep you accountable. Increase your tolerance for discomfort. Increase your consistency in small commitments. It's easy to do the big stuff. If you committed to, going to a friend's house tonight, don't cancel on them. Increase your ability to solve problems without spiraling. That one might be a little tough. Expansion isn't glamorous, you guys. It's repetitive. That's the long and the short of it. If you're asking for more, start acting like someone who can handle more. The blessings, they just don't arrive. You participate in building the version of yourself who can sustain it. And that sustenance is going to come from all those little things. So, like I said, each one of these solo episodes now comes with a field manual. If this stuff that I just talked about is something like, man, that really kind of hits home to a similar situation I'm in, go over to the website, www.dfwgrit.com, click on the field manual tab, and download the field manual for this episode. And then I will catch you guys on the next episode of DFW Grit. As always, like, share, follow. Hell, give yourself your own factory reset. We're 3 months into the year. January, February, March. Yeah, we're 3 months into the year. How are your resolutions doing? How are your plans doing? How are your goals doing? Did you drift? It's fine. We all drift. Now it's time to unplug it and plug it back in. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Take it easy.